going on, people? Welcome back to Kai Talks Combat. Today, we're going to be talking about Azim and Ohara Davies, who fought at the Copper Box last weekend, and Anthony Yarde, who made his return to the ring on their undercard. Let's talk about it. We have got to start with that main event, and the man of the hour, Azim. Azim defeated Ohara Davies in 8 rounds. And it was an absolutely fantastic performance from Azim. From the first bell, you could see that Azim was just levels above Ohara Davies. With that lightning fast jab, he was just far too quick for Ohara, man. Literally beating him to the punch in every single exchange. He just had the last word every single time. Ohara asked a few questions of Azim in there as well and gave him a few things to overcome and work out. But overcome them he did. Fast forward to the 5th round, Adam had busted up Ohara's nose badly and dropped him with a left to the body. I'll be honest, watching this live, I thought, you know what? There's no way Ohara makes it through the 6th, man. Blood's in the water. Azim's going to go in for the kill here. And for whatever reason, he didn't. And Ohara was able to survive the 6th and the 7th rounds, although Azim was winning those rounds comfortably. In the 8th round, Adam just went up another gear entirely, and with a right and a left hook, bash was all she wrote, and Ohara hit the canvas, unable to meet the count. An absolutely stellar performance from Azim, man. With that victory, he advances to 12-0 as a pro. Only 22 years of age, and he put away the wily veteran in Ohara Davies with relative ease. My oh my, this kid could be something special, man. Ohara Davies, of course, in the ring following the defeat, announced his retirement from the sport of boxing, with both him and Adam sharing a really nice, wholesome moment there in the ring together. And you just absolutely love to see that, right? Adam and Ohara are very good friends, having trained at the same gym for years. Adam's known Ohara since he was 9 years old. And it was a real coming-of-age moment for Azim. As a young boy, training at the same gym as Ohara Davies when he was just starting his pro career, there of course would have been so much admiration and respect there from Azim to Ohara Davies. He would have watched everything that Ohara was achieving and would have said, that'll be me one day. Ohara's certainly given a lot to the sport and a lot to British boxing, and we wish him all the best in his future endeavours. Although I'm sure that's not the last that we'll see of Ohara, and I'm sure he'll still be involved in boxing in some capacity. What is next for Azim? The world is very much this kid's oyster, man. You've got some fantastic domestic fights there in Harlem Eubank and Dalton Smith. Both of those fights would be absolute bangers and would both be a good step up for Azim, with the fans in particular calling for a fight with Azim and Dalton Smith. I personally think that's the fight to make. Equally at the same time, as much as I want to see those big fights as a fan, there is an element of he's only 22, there's no rush. That super lightweight division is just fantastic, man. In and around 140 pounds, you've just got some absolute killers. Let's just go through some of those names. You've got Teofimo Lopez, Liam Pyro, Jack Catterall, Devin Haney, Regis Prograde, Josh Taylor, Richard Hitchens, and so many more. Azim's definitely going to find himself in good company as he moves through the levels. It will certainly be interesting to see his journey and how he faces against those guys as he develops. Anthony Yarde also made his return to the ring on the undercard following an 8-month layoff. He fought a guy called Ralph Vilcans, who had an okay record, right? 17-1 going into the fight, but it should have been a fairly routine run out for Anthony Yarde. And in the first round, it looked like it would be, after Yarde dropped Vilcans to the canvas within the first 10 seconds of their fight. But Vilcans wasn't there to just roll over and lay down. He came to fight and took Yarde all 10 rounds, with Yarde just winning a points decision. I'll be honest, I wasn't aware of Vilcans before the fight, but I absolutely want to see more of him. He gave a great showing of himself. After the fight, Yarde made some call-outs to his domestic rivals and had this to say.
You'll have plenty of time to sort of analyse the performance and talk about with your coach what worked, what didn't work. But I have to ask you about the future. Who and what do you want to do next? I mean, there's obviously a big name in our studio. There's plenty of talk about it. What do you want to do?
I'll fight anybody. That's literally it. I'll fight anybody. Styles make fights. And I fought at the top of the mountain. Sometimes, again, who is put in front of you might bring out the best version of you. So again, this is the last minute opponent. So maybe mentally I got a bit complacent.
So if they put Joshua Buatsi in front of you, you'll say yes?
I'll have to turn up. There's so many names. There's Josh Buatsi, there's Dan Aziz, Craig Richards. There's so much names in this British scene. Again, I fought twice at world level. Better before Bivol gave me his hardest fight. There's fights out there. But again, Josh Buatsi is one of the fights I want personally. There's names.
Well done.
Thank you.
Some great British dust-ups in there, right? But I absolutely think the fight to make has to be Joshua Buatsi and Anthony Yarde. I think that could be an absolute banger and one that makes the most commercial sense. Based on that lackluster performance from Yarde, you would have to make Buatsi the favourite, given the form that he's been on recently. But a part of me does agree with Yarde. I think he does rise to the level of opposition that he's in there against. And particularly after that showing against Vilkans, I think he would go in there and give a far better display of himself against someone like Buatsi. But if you were to ask me who wins that fight, I would have to go with Buatsi. He's just too good, man. I think he's just a level above Yarde at the moment. That light heavyweight division is an interesting one at the moment. All the belts, of course, are locked up with Beterbiev, with the IBF ordering a mandatory for Beterbiev against Michael Eifert. So if that takes place early next year, and if that is the next fight for Beterbiev, and he doesn't take the Bivol rematch, then we might not see the Beterbiev-Bivol rematch until this time next year. And if that is the case, then Bivol will probably fight someone early next year as well. So those belts are locked up for at least 12 months. In the meantime, it will certainly be interesting to see how the rest of that light heavy landscape develops and how the rest of these guys tussle it out over the next year for that top contender spot. You would have to argue Buatsi's currently that guy in the division, and so a win over Buatsi for Yarde rockets him up the waiting list for the straps and would undoubtedly get him a third title shot. Just a very quick one today, guys, to jump on and talk about Adam Azim and Anthony Yarde. As always, smash that like button for me. Hit subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you guys on the next one.